Grand Prix. You're looking at the qualifying order. The starting grid, Rich Oliver was the fastest. Kenny Roberts Jr. second fast. Jimmy Felice, who's won here before. Don Green, a former national champion. As you go on down through the top 10, we're joined by a couple of new sponsors, RK Chain and the good people at Fram Bendix Autolite, making this event possible. They're coming back around after a tire warming lap. The guy in the black shorts right there. Well, there's a world-famous road racer, Kenny Roberts Sr., patting his son on the back as he gets ready to go. And Don, for a youngster like this has got to be a tense moment.
Well, it is. His dad is there. There's a lot of pressure on Kenny Roberts Jr. You know, is he going to be able to come back and become the racer his dad was? And everybody shudders the thought that it might happen.
Well, he was the second quickest qualifier, not too bad. And they're all snicking it down into gear right now. The board is up. There's one guy with his hand in the air. We think we might have a dead engine at the back or about the middle of the pack on the right-hand side. See the hand up and waving? And here they go. Oh, that'd be a thrilling moment. Number one, Jimmy Felice looks like he got the best start of anybody. Clutch went home first and the bike started moving, but a total of 38 motorcycles charging now to turn 2.
This has got all the makings to be just a great race. You've got Colin Edwards, who won at Daytona. Rich Oliver was fast qualifier at Daytona, fell at Daytona. Now he's fast qualifier again. He wants to avenge that. You've got Kenny Roberts Jr., Jimmy Felice, who won the very first GP out here. So I think we got it. This thing is just up for grabs.
Well, Rich Oliver is grabbing at it right now. The number 97 motorcycle has the lead as they come back around, but it's not a secure lead.
Not at all. Look at how fast these guys are going, and they're just, right together.
That's Colin Edwards moving into the second place spot, I think, as they make the turn at 5 and begin to go up the hill. We'll see which has got the horsepower here. And that was Felice working backwards through the field there.
He lost his drive coming up the hill there.
97, Oliver. 45, Edwards. 25 is Kenny Roberts Jr. And then a gaggle of them coming by. By the way, 34 of these motorcycles are Yamahas, 2 of them are Hondas, and 2 of them are Aprilias out of Italy.
Oh, there goes Colin Edwards to the inside. He's got him.
Ooh, young man out of Conroe, Texas, I think it is, leads him through the corkscrew area. And this downhill section on cold tires is a thrilling thing.
Well, it's not that bad. They give them one warm-up lap to get these things warmed up, and this is such a competitive class. There's really no time to sort of get warmed up now. You've just got to be ready to race at this time.
Well, we've got them ready to race, and the fast guys have worked their way towards the front right here. Colin Edwards wins the lead as they come through turn 11. Right behind him, I think, is 97, Rich Oliver. Then the number 25, Kenny Roberts Jr., but Jimmy Felice on the number 1 motorcycle's trying him.
Look at that. They're all just one after the other. There's no time for a mistake now. You lose 10 places if you do something wrong now.
Now, when you go 250cc road racing in the American Motorcyclist Association, this is almost the same as the Grand Prix type of bikes.
That's right. They're very, very close. The technology is very, very similar.
Jimmy Felice on the number 1 motorcycle gets around Kenny Roberts Jr. and takes over third. Now, Don, I want to buy one of these bikes. Just how much am I going to spend to buy a 250 GP bike?
I'd have at least 20,000 ready.
Okay, well, I don't want to buy one this week right now. Out in front of it, Colin Edwards, the young Texan, has got control of the 250cc road race at Laguna at the moment. Rich Oliver second, Kenny Roberts Jr. third, Jimmy Felice in fourth, Rick Kirk in fifth, and here's 6th through 10th place. And we're coming back for more racing at Laguna Seca. In the background, a couple of lazy spectators in the harbor here at Monterey. But the action on the racetrack is hot and heavy. At the moment, Colin Edwards leads the 250cc Grand Prix as they come through the corkscrew. I'm Bruce Flanders along with Don Emdy. We're calling the action, and Don, it's been like a 4-rider breakaway.
Well, this is everything we hope for. These guys look to be identical in speeds. They're getting around. It's just going to be, all the way to the finish as I would see it. It's really a good race at this point, and I don't know who has the advantage.
Number 1, Jimmy Felice on the Honda. The others are on Yamaha mounted, and at the moment, Felice is in the 3rd place spot. It's Edwards in front on the number 45 motorcycle. Oliver on the number 97 bike. Number 1, Felice, and then number 25, KRJR, Kenny Roberts Jr. running fourth. Here's back at 5th and 6th, number 5 and 22. 5 is Rick Kirk. 22 belongs to Al Salaveria. That's the Aprilia at the moment sitting in 6th. And there is 5th and 6th place going into turn number 2. And a good look at the Aprilia.
That's a good little bike that they're bringing around. And, they've had some success in Europe with it, and they're starting to see some of them here in the U.S. racing.
Yeah, but you don't run into an Aprilia dealer in every major town, do you?
That's very true.
Back on your leader right now, the number 45 Edwards, and it looks like Felice is trying Rich Oliver right there as they go on the short chute.
Well, Edwards got away just a little bit. That's about the biggest gap we've seen so far in the lead, although here they come. They're getting right back on him again.
It's time for elevation change as they begin to climb the hill. The closest race of the front 4 is the one back at 3rd, and Jimmy Felice on the number 1 bike, keeping the heat on Rich Oliver. Back again to that battle for 5th and 6th. The numbers 5 and 22 still going at it. The Aprilia, number 22. Kirk on the Honda, number 5.
And, you know, they're not really out of it at that point. I mean, there's a little bit of a distance there, but if anything happens to those leaders, those guys could actually get up into the, you know, one of the front runners.
Ooh, and they sure are using different lines as they enter. At least Al Salaveria, a different line on the Aprilia at the top of the corkscrew. Picking them up, and it once again looks as though the number 1 motorcycle trying 97. Nah, it was just the angle compressing it just a little bit there. Still running in the same order as they come down to complete yet another lap at Laguna. By the way, they're going a total of 23 laps on this racetrack. And up the front straightaway, across the stripe they go. Show Colin Edwards, the young man out of Texas, still in front. He is a young one, too.
He was just barely old enough to race at Daytona, the race that he won.
And a swap in the lead. 97 Oliver went down on the left-hand side, inside of the turn, and took away the lead.
Whoa!
Oh, and that bobble there by number 1, Jimmy Felice, almost cost him a bundle.
He got a little side. He got on the gas real fast there, and the tire broke loose and just about threw him.
Let's take a look back. Here is that same corner in replay. Oliver on the far left.
Notice Felice he went across the paint line there. He's got the widest line of everybody coming through, and I think he gets on the gas a little bit faster. And right here, you're just going to see he gets on just a little bit too quick, but he saves it, and, you know, no real damage. But, boy, that would get your attention.
Hey, it would thrill the guy running right behind you, too. As we're back into the race at real time, 97 Oliver leads it, and Colin Edwards is second. And in the 3rd place spot is Jimmy Felice, with Kenny Roberts Jr. having the best seat to watch this battle.
Well, he's playing it pretty cool at this point. I'd be interested to see how they...
And Edwards outdrives him, coming to the top of the corkscrew, and put the young man from Texas back out in front. Move Oliver back to second, and Jimmy Felice wants by 2. I'm amazed at the different lines they're using.
They're doing anything they have to do at this point. You know, there's not just one line that's working for these guys. They can go high, they can go low. This little Yamaha 250 is very forgiving. You can run it just about anywhere. And so they're just running, you know, tactics, whatever it takes to get into the lead is what's going to, you know, what they're going to go with.
Kenny Roberts Jr. in the 4th place spot on the number 25 motorcycle is not letting anybody get very far away from him, as there's a good tight shot of the Conroe, Texas rider out in front of it.
Well, Kenny Roberts Jr. is a young rider, and he's getting some good lessons here as he follows some real experience, although Edwards is a young rider as well, and boy, he's showing these guys what he's all about.
Well, Jimmy Felice, now we're talking about a seasoned veteran there who came back from a terrible automobile accident where he was just a passenger.
He was very badly hurt in an accident on the highway, and it was put him out for about a year, and it's really a credit to him. He's been able to come back and run this hard.
Hey, from what I heard about the original diagnosis, it's amazing he can even ride. Colin Edwards in the lead, Oliver second, Felice Roberts, and Rick Kirk. We're coming back. The Toyota Grand Prix for motorcycles at Laguna Seca Raceway. It's the 250cc Grand Prix, and 4 riders have broken away in a fast freight train. Number 45 is out in front of it. Colin Edwards from Conroe, Texas. Number 97, Rich Oliver from Fresno, California is second. Number 1, Jimmy Felice from Modesto, California is third. And number 25, Kenny Roberts from Hickman, California is fourth at the moment. Looks like a swap in there around second place.
There goes Felice into second.
Jimmy Felice motoring along. Bruce Flanders along with Don Emdy calling the action. And Don, I remember that national number you used to have was number 25. Does it bring back some memories to see 25 out there?
Well, that's the number I used to have, and Kenny Roberts Jr.'s got it now, so I'm proud to have him have it. I raced with his dad back in the 70s.
Jimmy Felice thought about going to the inside for a minute, and in fact, they have taken away Jimmy Felice's favorite entry into turn 2, and Rich Oliver has battled his way back into the second place spot.
He ended up right where he started from. He was charging hard to second, maybe thought he was going to go into the lead, and now look where he's back at.
It kind of seems like Rich Oliver's riding a wide motorcycle right now.
Well, he's just using up a lot of racetrack. He's tried a couple things. He's got 2 things to worry about. He's trying to figure out how to get a hold of Edwards. Same time, keep Roberts and Felice from passing him. So he's just doing whatever he can to be as fast as he can and not get behind.
Colin Edwards is enjoying his biggest lead at the moment. Jimmy Felice is badgering Rich Oliver for the second place spot. And up the hill they come. That's the battle now for the 5th place spot. And number 5, Rick Kirk still holds on to it. Trying him is Al Salaveria out of San Francisco, California, the Aprilia mounted rider. Up they come to the corkscrew in what has turned out to be a great battle if it weren't for those 4 guys so far out in front of it.
This would be a great race here. These guys, there's not a lot of swapping going on, but they're just running very, very fast pace.
Kirk is on the other Honda in the field, too. To note that there are 2 Hondas and 2 Aprilias and 34 Yamahas as we watch the lead battle about to catch some traffic.
Well, this could really change the whole complexion of the race. They've had a clear racetrack up to this point. Now you're coming up with, you can see a pack of 5, 6 riders ahead, and it can take a rider rider down. We could see some things happen at this point.
These guys don't know they're coming either, do they?
That's correct. I mean, sometimes you can catch a little bit of a peek, but you really don't know exactly when they're going to zap you. And there's a lot of times you find a rider run into someone else and, take a leader out.
Well, there is the leader getting by traffic smoothly. The young Conroe, Texas rider has gotten by a couple of the lap bikes right now. As they go between 4 and 5, he tucks in like he's underneath the first layer of paint.
He is very aggressive, and yet he's very smooth at the same time. And it's just, this is a hard combination to beat here.
Up the hill he comes. He's going by one of them on the left and getting ready to set up another one on the right. The number 45, if you're just tuning in, has led most of the way so far. Colin Edwards on the Southwest Motorsports Yamaha. Dunlop tires are the ones that are sticking to the ground, and the traffic guys are finding out these other people are going fast.
Well, this is dangerous stuff right here when you've got a guy, and very often you'll have a guy who's a lap or 2 laps behind. All of a sudden he decides he wants to race at this point, and, that can be a problem.
Getting snookered out of that last batch of traffic was the number 1 motorcycle of Jimmy Felice. His Honda got pushed back to 4th place, and young Kenny Roberts Jr. took over 3rd. In fact, he's trying for 2nd right here. Uh-oh. Oh, trying maybe a little too hard for 2nd as he impacted against Rich Oliver. That gave Jimmy Felice a shot back around.
Felice is in 2nd, and Roberts is lucky he's still on the racetrack. He just about ate it right there.
And there's a look at Roberts. Apparently, okay, here's the replay.
Watch what happens. He's coming in and he's braking. I think he wants to go to the inside, doesn't quite make it, actually hits the rear wheel at that point, and the fact that he saved it, I don't know how he did it.
Boy, he is a lucky man to be back on that motorcycle. And you see Jimmy Felice coming by, sneaking into 2nd, and Roberts almost collecting some straw bales.
Well, exactly. Well, Felice, that showed his experience. He didn't sit and become a spectator at that point. He got right in and took advantage of the situation, and he sees that might be the thing that'll get him up towards the front.
Colin Edwards out in front of it. Now Jimmy Felice in the 2nd place spot. Rich Oliver in 3rd, and Kenny Roberts Jr. trying not to lose touch with what has been a 4-rider freight train.
Well, but he didn't lose a position. Amazingly, he's still in 4th place.
Don't go away. We're coming right back. Lies Laguna Seca Raceway, and Prime Network is proudly bringing you exclusive coverage of the 250cc Grand Prix from Laguna Seca Raceway. At the moment, it's Colin Edwards, Jimmy Felice, Rich Oliver, Kenny Roberts Jr., and then off the pace a little bit, Rick Kirk holding down the 5th place position. On the racetrack, they are battling hot and heavy. 4 guys have broken away, and we're looking at them right now. I'm Bruce Flanders, along with Don Emby. And Don, it looks like we're trying another pass right here.
Well, Felice is going for it this time now. He hasn't had too much of the lead today. Let's see if he can hold it.
Off of turn 11, a little bobble. Felice hangs on to it and will lead legally his first lap. And 45 Edwards will drop in at 2nd. Now, they have a different entry point here in turn 2, don't
well,
they?
Felice has been going high. Let's see what he's doing on the outside with Edwards there. Edwards follows him to the outside this time.
Oh, and that gives Felice what he wants, a chance to get legs on his Honda. And
whoa, there's a little skid mark there.
What about it? They can run these things out of tires,
You
right?
can, well, you could. Yeah, you could. But if you slide them that way, you could definitely get them out of tires before the race is over.
Underneath the Dunlop Bridge they go. The battle for first place right now. Jimmy Felice holds it on the Honda. Chasing him is Colin Edwards on the Yamaha number 45. And here's a replay.
Well, watch him going into turn 11 now. You've got Felice. First he outbrakes Edwards, but then watch what happens. He gets right back on the gas, and that's where he makes the time coming on. And
he gets it back launched off the corner.
He really does. He got a lot of momentum coming out of the corner. He looks like he really got on the gas fast there.
Jimmy Felice, number 1 in front of it now. As we come back to the action, he's pulled out a couple of bike lengths, almost like he's been sandbagging.
Well, he may have been. I don't know what's going on here. All of a sudden, he's just pulled away. They've been just doing everything they can up to this point to do, to stay in the hunt. Now all of a sudden, he's gone. 45
Colin Edwards gets through the traffic right there. 25 is now sitting in 3rd. That's Kenny Roberts Jr. He now is through the traffic, and Rich Oliver also trying to. Oops! Whoa. Rich Oliver didn't get quite by him there. Felice takes a look over his shoulder to see how it is, and it's coming after you.
He may not be able to believe he's been able to put that much of a gap on him at this point, but he knows the race is not over, so he's got to stay on the gas. Whoa! Throwing
it away. That's Al Salaveria, who was in a great battle for the 5th place spot, and now he's trying to pick his number 22 motorcycle up and get back into the action. He appears to be okay.
Well, that's a shame, because he rode a real good race to this point, but look, he's not giving up. Looks like he's trying to get this thing running again and get back in the race.
And the Aprilia is getting, with a little help there, back on to the racetrack, and apparently they pull back in the yellow flags. Everything's okay. Get it to clean out, Al. And here it comes, back to work. Salaveria gets back in at about the 9th or 10th place position right there. As we go back to the leader, Jimmy Felice, the Honda, in front of a gaggle of Yamahas. In fact, well in front of them at the moment.
He is just gone all of a sudden. He's got things working, and he just sees the checkered flag coming up a couple laps ago, and he's just motoring on.
When the World Grand Prix circuit ran here at Laguna Seca, Jimmy Felice was unbeatable by the guys who were labeled as the best in the world.
He really did. He beat the world's best a couple years back, and now he's showing these kids that he knows what he's doing. Hasn't lost his touch.
Number 5 is in the 5th place spot. That's Mr. Kirk, Rick Kirk, out of Claremore, Oklahoma, on a Honda, the only other Honda other than Jimmy Felice's, and he's solidly in 5th as we look at a great battle now for 2nd.
Well, now we got the kids. We got Edwards and Roberts, and they're going to have to start showing their stuff here, and they're both, obviously doing whatever they can to try to, see if they can still catch Felice, before the race is over.
By kids, neither one of these guys can legally buy an alcoholic beverage in the state of California. Not that they do that type of a thing, but 97 Rich Oliver behind him is what we'd call a seasoned veteran, to use the other end.
He's been at it quite a bit longer. Yes, yeah.
Through turn 3 they go. Edwards hanging on to the 2nd place spot. Roberts Jr., as you see the differential there, that was Felice just went out of your picture, and 97 Oliver closing back up in 4th. This straightaway right here, the braking point. Whoa!
Oliver goes by.
Yeah, Oliver didn't bother to brake. Just went smoothly through the corner and went around Kenny Roberts Jr.
These guys have not given up. This thing is going to go right to the flag. They're just giving them everything that they can. Again, it's amazing that Felice got away, but these guys are running just as hard.
Up the hill they come to the blind entry to the famed corkscrew at Laguna Seca, and Rich Oliver is thinking about getting around the youngster from Texas as they start back down on the descent to the infield. And look at Kenny Roberts Jr. He went way to the left.
He went low to try to pass him in that turn. That's hard to do, but looks like he's going to do it.
He picked up one spot anyway as they come down the hill, and Kenny Roberts Jr. is now up to the 3rd place spot, back around his teammate Rich Oliver as they come to the breaking point at 11.
Well, Kenny Roberts Jr.'s got to be careful. He almost lost it a couple laps back, and he's just going to see what he can do to get past Edwards at this point.
The battle for 2nd place coming to the stripe as they tuck in and use each other's air. There was some kind of a hand signal right there.
He was waving at Oliver. Yes, he was.
And Oliver goes around on the outside. Roberts Jr. down to the low side. They're coming, squeezing up on number 45. And on the inside, that is Kenny Roberts Jr. getting by the youngster from Texas, and Oliver gets through there too. Through the turn 3.
2nd to 4th. That's got to make Edwards feel awful bad at this point. He's led a lot of this race.
Big change in position. Here's a replay.
Well, let's see what happens here. Roberts is coming underneath him. At this point, Edwards is holding the line. Now, Roberts gets on the gas right here and straightens Edwards up. At that point, Oliver gets the drive, and he's able to come under there. Edwards must have got off the gas at that point.
All right. Well, that was one look at it. They tell me we're going to have another look at it from the original angle.
Let's take a look and see what he did here. Edwards is doing nothing different really than he did in any other lap through here. But you look at how he jets ahead Roberts there. And when he got on the gas, I'm sure that just got Edwards' attention, and Oliver just followed him right on through.
Plus, he took his line away, so he wasn't confident on exiting the corner. Back to the racing action itself, and you're looking at the new 2nd place rider, Kenny Roberts Jr. Rich Oliver is in 3rd, and back. This is your leader here, Jimmy Felice. Those two guys are down a lap now, and here is your battle for 2nd place.
Well, these guys know that they're running out of laps, but look, there's a little bit of a gap there.
Yeah, they have spread it on out. Could there be something mechanically wrong with Colin Edwards' motors?
Things start to happen at this point, and a race has been ridden this hard. Tires can get hot, brakes can start to go away. It's not the rider himself. Generally, it can be a motorcycle at this point that can be causing some problems. Sometimes they just don't run as good towards the end.
Traffic once again as the 2nd place battle comes down into the turn 2 that they were so active in this very last lap around. And Kenny Roberts Jr. holds on to it. Watch out for traffic there, Kenny Roberts Jr. Oliver follows him on through. Tries to follow him on through. In fact, he got clipped there, touched anyway. Hang on to it, Rich. Hang on to it. This is not a motocross bike he's on.
That's amazing. With slick tires going through the dirt there, he wants to get back on that race fast.
That's a move that should be applauded. That was fantastic. As we pick back up with your leader and show you the differential, there are 2 riders in between them. There went the number 25, and here is your 3rd place, the number 45, the Conroe, Texas rider, Colin Edwards.
Well, this is as spread out as any of these guys have been all day now. You've got Felice is pretty well gone. Edwards now has lost the draft of Kenny Roberts Jr., so there's a little bit of a gap now.
Come on back to Laguna Seca for the last few laps in the checkered flag right after this. Prime Network's exclusive coverage of the Toyota Grand Prix for motorcycles at Laguna Seca Raceway. It's the closing stages of the 250cc Grand Prix, and we're watching the battle for second place. Number 25, Kenny Roberts Jr. being pursued as the white flag is shown right there by Colin Edwards. And now up on the leader on his last lap, Jimmy Felice. And Don Emdy, Felice has been giving this Honda a go.
He rode a tremendous race with everything that he's been through, and he's just an experienced rider, and he just did all the things he needed to do today to make it happen.
The Commonwealth Honda, sponsored by Camel, is well out in front, and just here in the last little while, he's had more motorcycle left than everybody else.
Well, he had it left when he needed it, wasn't it? Right at the end.
Timed it like a good pro, huh? But the two guys behind him, they're going to be potential world champions too.
Well, that's right. I mean, the future is with Kenny Roberts Jr., with Colin Edwards. They're the up-and-coming riders right now. There's going to be, believe me, they'll be on some good equipment years to come and win a lot of races.
Jimmy Felice making the big turn now up the hill, headed towards the corkscrew the final time. We've already talked about it. This is the kind of time when you hear every rattle and every chink, right?
You really do. You just pray the thing will get you to the end. You just don't want anything to go wrong at this point.
Smoothly through the corkscrew, the Dunlop shod motorcycle making his last time down the hill, or at least the last time in anger, and Jimmy Felice appears to be on his way through turn 10, his final time. And smooth as ever, making the last turn here, and this is going to be it. He could almost coast to the checkered flag now. Off of the corner, and the crowd starting to erupt. The noise. Look at the wheel stand, and he's already waving to everybody along pit road. Checkered flag. Jimmy Felice wins the 250 GP here at Laguna Seca, and he was going miles an hour.
He's not done yet. He's having some fun.
Big wheel stand well after the checkered flag at over 100 miles an hour right there. As he acknowledges the crowd cheering for him, and there it is, the waving back and forth. He's waiting to shake hands with second place. Only second place hasn't caught up with him.
Well, he was way out there. He's got to be a happy guy now. As we said earlier, he's lucky that he's even on a motorcycle. To come back and win this thing has got to be a real thrill for him.
Yeah, those injuries in that automobile accident a while. And look at that pretty little wheel stand, and the crowd over the head with a little applause for him. The number one up in the air as he comes up the hill once again. This guy can ride, and he's like a specialist on a 250. As we look at the guys calming down here that were second, third, and fourth place, Kenny Roberts Jr. ended up with second, Colin Edwards with third, and the fourth place spot, Rich Oliver, got shut out due to a back marker.
He did. The traffic we talked about during the race, he bumped into a guy, got off the racetrack, and with those three guys ahead of him as fast as they were, there was no way he was going to catch up.
Rick Kirk ended up fifth place on the Honda. He had a heck of a battle with Al Salaveria, who ends up ninth, as you're looking at 6th through 10th place the way they crossed the line. DeLucio, Peterson, Walker, Salaveria, and Ferris rounding out the top 10. Now, let's join the party down in Victory Circle, where Rick Stewart has our exuberant winner, Jimmy Felice.
Jimmy, you've had just a moment now to catch your breath, and has it all sunk in yet? You're back at Victory Circle at Laguna Seca after a beautiful ride.
Laguna has been great to me. Since 1987, I've been doing great here, and I love this racetrack. I love the fans. It's really great to be here and have such a great moment again. 88 was special, but this is just as special after my injuries, and I feel real good.
It was a hard-fought battle. You look a little tired. How do you feel?
Well, it really was. Those guys are really fighting up there, so I just slowed down, and I watched them. I got stuck behind some lap riders, and I was able to catch up, and then there's a little bumping going the last corner here, and I got around little Kenny, and then I just concentrated on passing Colin, and I got around Colin, and I knew that once I broke away, and they were slowing me down a little bit through the corners, and once I broke away, I was going to be able to leave them, and things really went my way, and I got the breaks that I needed through the traffic, and I'm just glad to be here.
Now, in that last lap, we couldn't see the smile through the helmet, but we could sure see the sparks in your eyes. You knew how to get to Victory Circle, didn't you?
You know it. I mean, it's just unbelievable. I did it again, and I can't say enough about the people at Laguna. I love them, and everybody at Scramp, everybody, and Commonwealth, Camel, Honda, they've come through again. I mean, Honda's on top again, and we're looking to win the championship again.
Well, on behalf of Don Emdy and Rick Stewart, I'm Bruce Flanders, and we hope you enjoyed watching today's Prime Network exclusive coverage of the Toyota Grand Prix from